I probably gotta stop drinking Diet Coke right now soon. I really think that it's gonna start cancer. I'm so tired of it. I smoked another freaking cigarette. I'm tired today. I didn't even know to dose it up. This person's gonna go to mom's house. And then her mom is gonna come back.
If you're like most people, then living seems to be this constant effort to be content with circumstances. We are always trying to, in other words, feel good. And we worry about the possibility of not being content in the future. Have you ever noticed how this effort is futile? The effort to be content? No matter how hard we try, there's always this feeling that there needs to be something more. We think everything will be okay once this happens. I'll start living once I retire. Only if I can get into that school, then I'll be happy. If only I get a girlfriend, then things will be good. But that never really happens, because once we get it, we're thinking of some other future thing that will make us happy. The problem with this way of living is that we're constantly unsatisfied. And this feeling of dissatisfaction grows on us as we grow older. It becomes crippling. It's why many of us feel like we're carrying around this weight full of responsibilities and fears and obligations and regrets. Very few of our problems in life exist because of a particular situation. Instead, they exist as a conversation in our heads about our life, about what's going on. Our problems mainly exist because we create them through the constant dialogue we are having with ourselves about our experience in our heads. It's not the situation that makes us unhappy. It's our thoughts about the situation that we identify with that makes us unhappy. Because we are identified with our thoughts, we make life much more complicated than it has to be. This leads to a world and a life of psychological struggle, where something always feels wrong. Something always needs to be fixed somehow. Identification with thoughts makes us feel that we will only be happy once some future event has happened. The only constant between a good day and a bad day is thinking. Thinking is the thing that prevents us from going into social situations. It's the thing that makes us anxious about the things that are completely out of our control, like the future, the past, sickness. It's why we can't get over things that happen. It's the reason why we feel we can't connect to other people or the world around us. Thinking is the thing that causes us to reread a page once we've already gotten down to the bottom of the page, because by the end of the page we realize we didn't read any of it. The conversation we constantly have with ourselves literally shape the world we perceive. Meditation is a way to learn that one's identity doesn't rest in the stream of thoughts that flow in our heads. Most of us feel like we are the author of our thoughts. We feel as though we are performing the action of thinking. We feel like a participant in the dialogue that goes on in our heads. In reality, thoughts are less like an action we do. It's more like our heartbeats. It happens all by itself. We don't claim to be beating our hearts. We don't say, I'm beating my heart right now. Thought isn't something you do in the same way that your heartbeat isn't something that you do. In the same way, we are not the ones thinking. Thinking happens by itself. And meditation is a way to realize that we are not our thoughts. Thoughts come and go all on their own. The only problem is that we identify with it. We think that I'm thinking, as if we're a participant in the thoughts. And when we identify with something that is out of our control, then we are pulled along. We are not the ones who think. In the same way that going to the gym helps make our bodies healthier, meditation is the way to make our minds healthier. Meditation can completely transform one's life. It helps us form relationships and keep them in a way that is genuine and deep. It can help keep us calm in the various chaotic events that naturally occur in our life. It helps alleviate anxiety about the things that are out of control or out of our control. Meditation is a way to live without constantly needing to consult the stream of chatter that occurs in our heads. Meditation is a way to have a healthy mind. And the way to do that is to not identify with the thinking that goes on in our heads. Meditation doesn't mean to stop thinking. Instead, it's a method to leave thinking alone. It's a method to let the conversation in our heads die down by itself. In the next video, I'll show you the technique of meditation and how to incorporate it into our everyday life. See you next time.